Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I built a hyper modern mansion and it kind of looks like a boat. I didn't intend for this build to look like a boat, but it kind of does in a way. I think it turned out cute still. And for me, this is the little sister of the Tony Stark mansion, which I had built on a 64x64 lot. It's gigantic. And this one is much smaller. Not only did I build this on a 50x40 lot, but I also didn't use as many objects. I used a lot of the space for landscaping, as you will see. So if the Tony Stark one was too big for you, this one might be the one. It might be perfect for your sim family if you are into this type of build. It's much more manageable. It's smaller. I didn't use as many objects. I had to use a lot of objects to create all these round shapes, but definitely not as many as for the Tony Stark one. So the shape is different, but the style is kind of similar, and I didn't really intend to build a similar mansion. I just started to work on a modern mansion, then I added all these round shapes, and it turned out to be this build. So I hope you like it. And yeah, it's definitely much smaller but kind of similar, and it looks like a boat. I don't know what I built here, but I hope you enjoy it. Also, I want to quickly announce that I have enabled the membership feature on my channel, so you can now join my channel as a member if you would like to support me. There are two different levels, Gem and Emerald. You can see them here, and I'm also planning to live stream in the future, and I'm planning to do that here on this platform on YouTube. And as soon as I live stream, you will also be able to use the emojis in the live chat, and as soon as we hit a certain amount of members, I will be able to add more emojis. I've added emojis that we've used in the Discord in the past, so they have the emerald theme. So if you want to support me this way, you can click on join and become a member, and thank you so much if you do so. And of course, you don't have to do that. As I always say, also when it comes to Patreon and stuff, I appreciate all of your support equally. Just you being here, hanging out, watching my videos, maybe leaving a comment, leaving a like, I don't know, I appreciate all of your support equally, and it means the world to me. But if you want to become a member and support me this way, I of course absolutely 100% appreciated, and I would like to say a big thank you, and a big thank you to all of you just for being here. And if you become a member, thank you to you as well. And yeah, just wanted to quickly announce this. But back to the build. So I just built a pond. I would like to say pool, but it's not really a pool because I started to work on this and I've used plenty of pristine pedestals. This cute white cube from Get Famous, and at some point I realized no sim is ever going to get into that pool because of all these pristine pedestals. And what I usually do is I remove a couple of them and then I try to make it look as good as possible. I just kind of try to hide the imperfection, kind of the gap, because of all the missing pristine pedestals, but in this case it just looks too perfect. So instead I decided to add another pool to the back of the lot, as you will see, and right next to the pond I built a round foundation piece, a platform piece actually, and I raised it a bit just using the platform feature, and your sims can just hang out up there. And I then started to slowly work on the shape of the build, and at this point, you can already see that I'm laying out the shape and that it kind of starts to look like a boat very soon. Like I have my two different stories here, and soon I'm going to add the first round area in the front. And from this point on, it just looks like a huge yacht kind of. I will change up the shape a bit later, so it doesn't look as much as a boat as in the beginning. So some of you might say, nah, it doesn't look too bad. I saw the thumbnail and the build in the beginning. It doesn't look too much like a boat, but here you will soon see what I'm talking about. Like at some point, it definitely looked like a, I don't know, like Jeff Bezos mega yacht, but just on, like, not in the water. I don't know. Like a mansion, I have no idea. So I started to work on this round shape. I've used a rack for this as always. This time I've used this one, just a half circle, and this is my guideline, so I was able to lay out the shape. I've then used the Spotty Stony Goodness slabs. These are my two favorite objects for round builds, for modern builds. I would totally advise to get Famous and Spotty if you are into this style if you want to build a mansion like this, because you would need this object here, the Spade Stony Goodness Slab. That's what it's called. You can find it in the fountain section, and this white cube, the Get Famous Pristine Pedestals, and then you are just good to go. There's a nightstand from the base game which has a similar shape, but it's not as easy to build with this object because you can see the drawers in the front. It's just not a perfect cube. So I would advise, if possible, to use these objects, and I've used plenty of them as always. And yeah, this is really like a flashback to the Tony Stark mansion, I feel like. And I've added more round shapes. It looked more and more like a boat, but I was still in love with the pool in the front of the pond, so I just wanted to keep going. I then expanded the round shape, and I thought that this way I could make it look less like a boat, and this is also like a throwback to the roof of the Tony Stark mansion because of these shapes. I've built plenty of round mansions in this game, but this just reminded me so much of this one, and I've used some dark windows to have a nice contrast, so all my windows are black and all the other objects are white at this point. Later on, I'm going to add a couple of wooden tones just so it looks more natural, and I just wanted to have a bit of color here and there. And then another round shape. For this, I've used a round foundation piece. I simply followed the shape of the foundation, and then I wanted to have this curve. And for this, I used this rock, a debug rock from Journey to Batuu. I love this. Like, this is one of my new favorite objects. This rock is really helpful when it comes to laying out shapes like this. Also, I wanted to give you a little life update because some exciting things have been happening in my life. Exciting for me, at least. So, I have never learned how to drive. I don't drive, and I've always regretted that. I always wanted to learn how to drive, and I'm finally doing it. I finally decided to do it. I already had my first theory class, my first lesson. And a couple of days ago, I had a first aid course, which is mandatory. So you are there for the whole day and you learn first aid. I've never done this before, and it was just so exciting. Not only because it's part of the whole process, like learning how to drive and getting my license, but also just the whole thing in general. And it really got me thinking. Like, the woman who taught us was like, so many people don't care or forget about this stuff, but statistically, if you one day have to help someone, it will very likely be someone you know. So it's like super important, and it should be important in general, no matter if you know the person or not, but just imagine being kind of helpless, if you know what I mean. So I like really enjoyed the whole day there and learning all these things. And I mean, the whole process, like learning how to drive, is different in each country. And here in Germany, you have to follow lots of guidelines and things. You need the first aid course. I did that now. I had to get my eyes checked, which is why I got new glasses, because I couldn't see with my old glasses anymore. I tried to take the test, like it's a special one that you have to take specifically for getting the driver's license, and I failed it, so I had to get new glasses. And I was kind of nervous if I would still fail it for some reason. I don't like this stuff. I've talked about this in a recent video. Just anything involving eyes makes me nervous, but I passed the test, so all is good, luckily. And I also got some new photos taken, and yeah, now the whole process has started. I have to take 14 theory lessons, 90 minutes each. So this is going to be a process of 14 weeks in total. And then you have to take, I don't even know the number right now. I already forgot. I think 15 driving lessons plus whatever you need on top. You have to pass a test for theory, and then you can take the driving test at some point. And it's quite strict over here, which is a good thing, I guess, but it's like a whole process. It like takes a couple of months usually. It's not like you just learn a bit and you can take the test. It's a whole process, and I'm finally so happy that I started it. I'm just so excited for this, just being able to like get in the car, getting wherever I want, whenever I want, not having to take the train. It just feels like having a bit of freedom. And for me, it's just a milestone. No one has to learn how to drive. Like, if you don't want to, if you don't care about it, it doesn't matter. But for me, it has been bothering me. It's like a milestone, something that I want to tackle, something that I want to do, a test that I want to pass. And I'm like really excited for the whole process. And I just wanted to tell you about this because it like means a lot to me. And yeah, I will see. It would take a while, so I won't be on the road or the Autobahn in like a couple of weeks. As I said, it takes a couple of months usually. I think on average, like maybe 3 months probably, like the whole process, because you have to take all these lessons, theory and driving on the road. And it also depends how many lessons you can take each week. Like for theory, for example, it's 1 lesson per week, so 14 weeks in total, and I've taken 1 lesson, and the next one will be on Tuesday. So it's a whole process, and I'm so excited. Let me know if you haven't learned how to drive yet, or if you're learning how to drive yet, or if you're already driving. How was your experience? Was it like, what is the process like in your country? Is it also like that? So it's a whole process, or is it like, yeah, hey, I want to drive, and then you just drive, or you can learn with your parents? I know it's different in every country. So like here, for the whole process, you have to pick a driving school kind of. There are many, so you have to choose one, and you have a driving instructor, you have a teacher, so you have to make a decision which one might be the best for you, and then you just start, and that's what I did. And I'm really happy so far with the whole process. Like everyone is so nice, and I feel like I'm the oldest one there because most are teenagers, and yeah, but it's fun. I mean, you just have to tackle your milestones and your dreams, and it's never too late to do that. And I mean, I'm not a granny, and even if you are, like my grandma, my father's mom, I've never met her, sadly. She passed away before I was born, but she learned how to drive in her 60s. Like this whole process that I've just described, she started to do that in her 60s. Which is like a huge inspiration for me. Like when my parents told me, I never knew that. And I was like, that's so cool. Like my granny did that in her 60s, and I'm now going to do this in my 30s. I'm just ready for this, and I'm just really excited. Yeah, and about the build, I finished the exterior. I've added lots of wood, as you just saw. I've used the wall decorations from Eco Lifestyle. You can place them in front of windows. And here I'm decorating the area that also looks like a boat a bit. I've used lots of sofas from Dream Home Decorator. They're just my favorites. And all these glass floors from Idle Living, like I've placed them on top. I sized them up, and whenever you are loading into the lot, they might be smaller again. If this happens to you, just pick them up and place them again, and all should be good. Like there's this weird glitch where you like the glass is not see-through, and it's weird. But just pick them up and place them again, and it's fine. And furnishing this was so much fun. At first, I wasn't really happy with the whole interior. Like here, for example, I'm starting to work on the kitchen, and I don't like it. Like at this point, I was like, meh, I don't know. But then I changed the color. You will see this in a couple of seconds. I'm going to change the whole color scheme for this kitchen. And from that point on, I was so happy and so thrilled to furnish this. Like whenever I'm really happy with one room, I feel really inspired to work on the other rooms. And here it looks boring. It kind of looks basic. There aren't any contrasts. The wall is white and the cabinets, and then I changed the wall color a bit, still didn't like it. Then the wood floor, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. It looks weird, like too much wood, too much different colors. It doesn't look luxurious when you look at the build from the outside. It's like really over the top modern, and then we have this really wooden. So it was time to change the color, and then I was happy. Here you can see it. I love this. We have this marble floor from Get Famous. We have the kitchen, and then a little bit of wood behind the kitchen, behind the counters. I've created a custom backsplash just using this wall decoration from Dine Out, and from this point on I was really happy because it kind of looks like the exterior. We have lots of whites, a little bit of black, and then a couple of wooden accents, but not too much, and this is exactly what I was going for. And I feel like this really matches the exterior so well. I've used this wound bar from Journey to Batu. I know y'all don't like this pack, but it's amazing. I really like all these amazing objects like the bar and stuff. And I've placed some of these plants, which also have a nice brown warm color. It just really matches the color palette, and as soon as I cluttered a little bit, it really worked out. Like at some point it was too empty, but look at this, it kind of works, and I think it looks beautiful and cozy. I really like this. And what I sometimes like to do is I add a table to the island counter, so you have your little breakfast area, and then you have a separate big dining table just for having a dinner or something. This is the bathroom. I wanted to have a walk-in shower. I've used the windows from the Story Escape pack for this, and I've changed a couple of things here and there. I've used the wall decorations that I've used on the exterior here on the inside just to give your Sims a bit of privacy. I've placed them right in front of the windows so no one can see what's going on the inside, because right behind this window is a pool, so I wanted to make sure that there is some privacy. I've used some of these shelves from the Dream Home Decorator pack, and I just added a bit of clutter here and there. And at first I also wasn't happy with this room. Like here at this point something isn't working out, so I changed the wall color. You will see this in a second, and suddenly I was really happy with this room. Like here something is just not working out, and here you just saw it for a split second. It looked really good. I just changed the wall color. So this is the room behind the bathroom. It's the living room. I wanted to have a beautiful area, just a spacious corner for watching TV. I've added a chess table in the kind of narrow room behind. It's like a hallway. You can see it on the left side. I'm going to add a chess table to this area. I've added a stereo, just different things. So there's anything your Sim might need. There are 3 bedrooms in total. It kind of gives off some bachelor mansion vibes for me, but I've included 1 kid's room, so you can let a Sim family move in totally. It's up to you, there's enough space, but I feel like it just screams bachelor and party, and just like the Tony Stark mansion, as I said. But I think you could use this build for all kinds of different things, really. And I also tried to stay within the same color scheme here. Lots of white, black, and then a couple of wooden tones. I really like to use these curtains from Get Famous for huge windows. This here is like a sunroom or something. I have all these windows going all around it, and I wanted this to look like a room on the outside, like a outdoor space kind of. And I just added a sofa and a table. Your Sims could just have dinner there if they want to enjoy the nice weather or something, but they are still protected from the weather at the same time, so they could also enjoy it when the weather is bad technically. And here you can see this candle thing, and it goes into the wall, and I don't know if this is what it's supposed to be used for. I've just stumbled upon this. I don't know if this is a glitch. Are you supposed to do it this way? I've always placed it in a room and on a wall, and now I've placed it inside a wall in a window, and it looks like this from both sides, and I was just blown away. I just had to stop recording for a second, and I just looked at this in awe, and I was like, what is going on? Is this how you are supposed to use this? I have no idea. And here I'm working on another bedroom. This is a kid's room. There are 3 bedrooms in total, as I've said. It's fully CC free. It's fully furnished. You can find it in my gallery. My ID is KateEmerald. You can get the tray files on my Patreon. And yeah, you can just download it from the gallery, and you don't need the tool mod that I've used in this build in some areas. So you can just grab this and let your Sims move in. You don't need any mods, nothing. You can just download this and you can just place it. I've built this in StrangerVille actually, which is really surprising. I'm never building in StrangerVille, but this time I did. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and now it's time to thank my wonderful Emerald Patreons. A big thank you to Asia, Dawn Bryce, Jennifer Lewis, Callan Renee, Matthew Stell, Shannon McClam, Talena Lynn, Tamika Mitchell, Victoria Smithies, and 2 Cats Tailoring. Thank you so much for all of your support. I love you so much. I love all of you. Thank you for watching my videos, and I hope you have a perfect weekend, a perfect week. I hope you are all doing so well. I love you so much, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye. Oh.